how are you? Welcome, Tim Byrne, Almost Live. I am Tim Byrne. You know, last week I did one with Cheryl Gray and Denise. You're going to ask what I'm doing. I'm on a treadmill. All right, so last week I did a podcast with Cheryl and Denise. And they weren't very happy about my intro in the hot tub. Woo. My wife told me I was really wickedly unprofessional. And it was in poor taste. I thought it was funny. For all you entrepreneurs out there in the world, for all you business people, for all you stiff white collars and the ties all done up, I'm going to tell you, don't take yourself too seriously. Life's too short. You got to laugh at work. If you're not laughing at work, it's not worth going to work. Make fun of yourself every day. And don't care what other people think. Your mom and dad told you that when you went to high school. Remember that. Don't care what people think. Pinnacle Consulting, you guys are rock stars. Steven, I'll see you on the other end. Subscribe, give me some thumbs up. Love you guys. I'm on the treadmill. Tim Byrne, Almost Live Wednesday night.
How do you find an expert? Like when you're recruiting, I'm talking about in an HR level.
Right.
And I know you're not part of the HR side.
Yeah.
But an HR level, how do I? Because you're not an engineer,
yeah,
like quote unquote, and you have the intellectual curiosity of a consultant.
Correct.
So you're not a contractor. Contractors are executional.
Most definitely. Yep.
Right. And you are intellectual curiosity. So how do you pick somebody to become a consultant?
Well, basically what it is your education, or you actually could be from the industry. Some of our people have come from roofing companies. We have people that are educated on building envelope, and it comes from experience, to be honest. It's we do a lot of mentoring in our company. We do a lot of...
You do?
Yes, most definitely. We have a lot of young guys up and coming that are learning the industry, and by learning the industry, they become experts.
Do you find that the better, and I'm being very frank with you, do you find the better consultant is the guy who's been from the field or the guy that's been from the university or the college?
You get
I'm talking about frontline consulting guy, not the sales guy.
If you want somebody that's got long-term experience and the property's been around for a long time, then yes, you would bring that individual in. We do have a new construction division.
You do?
Yes, most definitely. And
so you're not just dealing with people's catastrophes.
No, we're starting right fresh. We want to make sure it's done correctly from the beginning. So we make sure that the product that's been specified is correct. We make sure...
So does an architect hire you?
Yes.
Does an architect hire you or a general contractor?
Well, the architect mandates that Pinnacle Tri-Tech is brought in as the third party company.
Even on new construction?
Most definitely, yes. Yeah, most definitely a lot. A lot of times how it works is after 2 years, property management companies are then brought in to look after the building.
Of course, yeah.
And then they pass the baton to Steve in the property management division. That's simple as, excuse me, that's as simple as it can be, is that the person said you've done the evaluation. You want to make sure that whatever product's put in, one, you get warranty. That's the biggest thing. And the value of our services are you've got a service that's been looked at.
Is the third party consultant during the base building new construction in the last 5 years a newer concept? I know in the US they've been doing it, but here in Canada, is it a newer concept to have a curtain wall consultant or a roofing consultant on prior to the concrete being poured?
Most definitely.
It is, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And matter of fact, it actually starts at the concrete. We have strategic alliances with clients that we work with them, and they say we're going to be pouring concrete. We say that's fine. We're going to buy to do the concrete evaluation. That's a third-party company. Once everything's been put in, they start to put in the curtain wall. Then they say, Pinnacle, you're going to take over now and start doing the inspection.
But it's really a new, for owners here in Canada, the last 5-7 years, hiring a consultant for the install is a new thing,
Most
right?
definitely. Yeah. Yes, because the value is what...
How do you convince them?
Well, the value that I bring to the table is I'm the most affordable insurance you'll ever have.
It's funny you say that, though. Anything that's new, and I'm a guy that likes to do innovative new stuff all the time. And anytime you do something new, it always seems to be a little bit of a hurdle, a brick wall, something in front of you. Doing these podcasts, I had a lot of hurdles with people not wanting to do it, unsure. Meanwhile, I'm not the first guy to do a podcast, and I won't be the last. Yeah. But when you bring something new to a marketplace, people get all, no, that's not how we do it, right? That's not how we do it. That's not how we've done it. We don't do it that way. The reason why we hired Ellis Don was because they're Ellis Don. We don't need to do that. And in the U.S., they're they're a bit more risk-takey than Canadians.
I agree.
We don't change as quick up here.
Yeah.
We just don't. We don't move as much. 30% of our listenership, by the way, the people who are going to hear this are from the U.S.
Okay.
And they move for their job. Like they would literally every 2 years. If somebody said you're going from Columbus, Ohio, and you're going to move to New York, and you're going to move from New York, and you're going to move to Miami, and you're going to move from Miami to Benoy, some place in Iowa. Literally, they get up and move. We don't do that as Canadians. We have a tendency of staying close to our roots.
I agree.
We also have a tendency of not wanting to change anything.
Nobody likes change.
So how do you sell do you just sell it purely your insurance?
No, basically what it comes down to is meeting with the client and figuring what their needs are. But
how do you sell yourself on a new construction?
I have to be a consultant. So how it works with me is I call them up and say, who's doing your evaluation? They say nobody. And I say, why is that? And they say, well, because it's new construction. Well, how do you know it's being done properly? When we do window tests, there are times where 10% of the windows leak. So that's unfortunately caused an inspection to be done after the fact.
Do your guys go to Florida and do the structural test?
Only Canadian based.
How do you convince the owner to cough up the cash to pay for you?
It's basically the who, what's, where, why, and how. Is how are you getting your evaluations done? What type of...
Do you find once they start doing it, they just always want to do it?
What I get is one. I don't ask for their entire portfolio. What I ask for is give me one of your properties, and within, I would say, 2 to 3 months, they say I have 15 more properties for you to go look at. Meaning they want to know what the evaluation side of it is looking like. So
really?
They've had issues. They have never been resolved properly. And I have no issues with anybody. I work with contractors. I work with glazers. Our job is to make sure that the client's happy. And if the client's not happy, then I'm not providing a proper service.
Do you find working day to day, I'm not sure because you're the guy selling the package, but your guys in the field, do they find they have to have an arduous position with the contractor? Or do you, because I've been on those sites and,
right.
You find like you're doing a Mexican standoff with somebody.
Yeah.
And I also, as a contractor, always feel like, and by the way, I'm a contractor who's not just fixed curtain wall.
Okay.
I've hung on the side of the building. I know what a pressure equalizer system is.
Yeah,
I could debate it with any one of your consultants. I've come from design, extruding, manufacturing, installing, and then tearing it back apart. Actually, I'm 51 years old. I've actually taken down curtain walls I put up 30 years ago, which is awful to say that I'm actually at that point in my career that I'm actually tearing down shit that I put back up. But sometimes I find the consultants and I, on a contractor level to consultant level, the owner puts us at war with each other rather than a partnership with each other.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
And I really hate that. I wish we could all sit around a table to find solutions, economical solutions, not go to war. And I always find that the property manager or the owner, the asset manager wants that battle.
Yes.
Is that true?
We find that there are times with that is the case where there's an issue. I'll be honest with you, Tim. There are times where I show up and there's nothing wrong with what you've done. Roofing's not pretty. Windows aren't pretty. The hard part's keeping the water out. I say that to everybody. Anybody can be a contractor tomorrow morning. It's the quality of workmanship is what we're looking for. So as long as they're doing a proper job, our goal is not to make anybody angry. Our goal is to make sure that the end user is happy with the end result.
Do you not find, though, that if you don't find a problem, your client's not thinking they don't think they have good value because you didn't find a problem?
There are times where there's some confusion. The last report I got from you had 21 pages. This report's 7. I'm like, well, that's good. That means we found minimal issues from the last time we were here.
We still did the exact same amount of work.
Same property.
We just didn't have to type as much because things are going well.
Exactly. Same property.
But don't you find clients find themselves dissatisfied? Like, I need a 30-page report of disaster to make it look right.
Then we tell them you basically have some issues with the with the contractor. Can we suggest other contractors to bring in that we will not have to do 21-page reports, and we'll work with them. And that's how it works. So if it's new construction, you're mandated to use a product. If it's like you said, 30-year product, it's lasted 30 years. There is a service life with roofs and windows. We're in the same boat as you. I've been in this industry for over 15 years. We're now getting to the stages where my properties are starting to come up for renewal, and they've gotten the full service life.
So do you sit down with your client and go, I don't want to be in an arduous relationship with your contractors?
We have a meeting like that, but we also
prior to starting, you go, listen, this is not about tit for tat fight. This is not about fight to the death.
Our goal is not to upset anybody, right? I reiterate. The goal here is to make sure that whatever was purchased, nobody wants to be sold anything. They want to buy something. And when they're buying it, they feel confident they've bought quality. And that's my goal, is to make sure they're getting the quality that they paid for.
You're here at PM Expo in Toronto. What booth number? What aisle number are you in? Because I can't see you, but I know you're I know you're somewhere way over there.
I've been in the same spot for approximately 12 years.
Have you really?
I'm in 1436. You can't miss me. Everybody knows Steve Emberley. It's one of the frustrations of the office is everybody's like, is there not a person you don't know? And I said, well, I very much orientated to networking. Hence why I'm doing this today, too.
So let's talk about selling for a minute then. Just selling. Forget about Pinnacle and Rockstar Consulting Company, but physically selling.
Yes.
Would you agree or disagree that selling is a relationship? Business-to-business selling is a relationship-orientated business, not a product or service. It's not a commodity.
Correct.
Business-to-business in the construction industry is not commodity-driven. I know that a lot of customers do unit pricing,
right?
And you go. I say this I said this to a client just the other day. He said, as long as your price is the cheapest,
right?
And I said, awesome. I said, because you know what I know about cheap clients? They can afford to do it twice.
That's right. Yeah, I say the same thing.
Right?
When it comes to sales, you are 100%. It is relationship selling. I'm a big believer in meeting with the client, finding out what they want, and then from there, I have 3 solutions for them. They want a better price, so you're willing to give up delivery? No. Are you willing to go secondhand? Maybe let's get secondhand windows.
Right.
No. Okay, well, we're back to price again. And my mentality is there's a difference between price and value. And if you're taking it in the context that I'm saying is let's perceive that you're getting value. And if you get value, you're not going to have to worry about a new roof for another 21, 25 years. Make sure that you're getting some professional representation to make sure you're good at what you do and we're good at what we do. And we say that to a lot of clients.
When you go on to price something for somebody, do you... You're an hourly rate, I assume, or are you a flat rate?
No, we can do
typically?
flat. Yeah.
You do flat?
Yeah, for sure.
What happens when something goes bad, though? Don't you turn around and go, okay, now we're in a situation where there's some critical care to be done?
Most definitely, yes. But our goal is not to have it go bad, right? I understand what you're saying. If we need to get into the nitty gritty, then yes, we have to sit down.
I always thought consultants were just hourly.
We don't, let's put it this way, nothing against lawyers, I don't ring a bell. If you call me and say, Steve, I'm charging you $165, ring a bell, and here's your invoice. That's not how we're working. You asked me about relationships, and that's how I work. A lot of my business is based on referrals. So if I've done good quality work, a lot of clients that I have moved from different companies and taken me with them.
So are you then percentage driven?
We are.
Sorry. So,
yes.
Like when you're going to hire an architect, when you're going to hire an engineering firm to do your structural engineering, are consultants the same idea? I'm 2%, I'm 1%, I'm 5%.
Yes,
blah, blah,
exactly. We work on the basis of flat fees on certain amount of dollar value.
Because somebody has to budget you.
Correct. Right.
That's. People call me up and think, how much for curtain wall? And you go, $60 for that, $80 for that, $100 for this.
Yeah.
For curtain
people
wall.
ask what my services cost. I go $1 million, and they go, "What do you mean $1 million?" And I said, "Well, I haven't even answered any of my own questions. Matter of fact, I don't even know if I want to work with you because I don't know if there's a connection between the two of us."
Have you ever turned down a client?
Most definitely.
You have?
Oh, most definitely.
Oh, good. Yeah. You're willing to say that?
Well, of course. If I value your time, so I got to the call.
So you've turned down so you've had a client, done a proposal, they've offered you the job.
Yeah, most definitely.
And you said no, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. No question asked.
Why?
Because they've gone with a particular solution that doesn't work with what our ethics are.
Wow. It doesn't happen very often, by the way. I think most people have a fairly decent moral compass.
I agree. And we want to work with clients that give us value as much as we give them value.
When you turned away somebody, and you personally did it?
Most definitely.
Like you personally looked the guy in the face like this, across the table, and went, "I'm sorry, I can't execute this."
That's correct. Yeah, I'm in a issue right now with the client.
What did they say to you?
They basically said, "That's fine. I'm okay with that." And I'm like, "That's fine. I don't want to be affiliated with something that I know is not the proper solution."
So, do you recommend another consulting company for them?
No. Definitely not.
Okay, but they go, okay, so now what am I supposed to do if you're not willing to do this?
Well, obviously we met for a reason. You had to see value in what I brought to the table. And unfortunately, what I brought to the table was not the value that you were looking for. If you're only going to be buying on price, then you're not looking for a consultant. What you're looking for is the best value. You're not buying a car from Pinnacle.
The trade show, you've been here 12 years, basically the same location. Do you get value from it?
Most definitely. I 100%. I mandated when the company was taken through an acquisition that I'm at this trade show every day. And the reason I'm at the show every day is I want to meet with my clients face to face. I haven't met with them. I haven't spoken to them. We've emailed each other.
Even though you're sitting amongst all your competitors and other contractors, you feel you still get good value coming to PMX.
I'm not out to, matter of fact, a lot of the contractors and consultants that are here, we know each other.
What other shows do you do?
We're basically, what we'll do is Springfest is a big one.
Yeah.
Yep. We like this one. Obviously, this is a big one for us. There are other shows. I belong to hospital associations. I've done
No, that's hotel.
Chess is the big one I do. Yeah, I do that. That's hospital.
What's Chess?
That's
What's
basically, it's a Canadian Hospital Engineering, something of that nature. Chess, yeah, CHES. Yeah.
Right.
So I try to get to the point of where I find my people will be. I ask them straight up, what trade shows do you guys like to go to? And they'll tell me. And I'm like, well, then I support you.
Have you ever done one that didn't work? Was there one trade show that didn't bring you your customer? Not that it didn't work for other people, it just didn't work for you what you were doing.
Yes, and the reason was they weren't large enough at the time. We were told there was going to be multiple vendors, and there was only 20. So the people that were there came in and out very quickly. So they didn't need to see us more than once, and they were done. So instead of getting 80 to 100 cards, I got 20.
You have staff that works underneath you now, 12 years later?
No. I am the key account manager.
How do you handle follow-up? I talked to Dylan this morning from Stadia Door and Glass, and we were sitting there, and I said, all right, you collect 100 names, 200 names. The shame about... So you collect these names, and you're really excited you got this 100 names in your hand. You spent 3 days doing it.
Yeah.
You show up in the office on Monday, and you know that every day that goes by, those 100 names become older, staler. They won't remember who you are, what you talked about. The problem is on Monday morning, you have 3 days of work to get done from the week before. So you've actually got double the workload, not triple almost.
Yeah.
A, I have the work that I missed. B, I have my Monday morning normal work. Now I have 150 decent business cards to call.
Correct.
So Monday morning, how do you manage the difference between what I left behind, what I have in front of me, and what I'd like to take away from the show?
Well, it's time management 101. If the client is already a client of mine, I'm putting 100% effort in getting back to them. There's a reason they've called me or connected with me.
But I mean the guys here at the show, these cards that aren't really kind of sort of clients. You collect these cards, they look hot, but they're not.
I am very forthcoming with a lot of my clients. I will not be following up with you on Monday. You will be getting inundated with every person, right? So I've already confirmed when we're going to follow up. I'm going to follow up with you in 2 weeks. No, you know what? It's Christmas time. Follow up with me in January.
Do you actually do it though?
Most definitely I do. 100%.
Really?
I'm not lying. That's I know what my job is.
Do you know how many salespeople don't?
Okay, well, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Because if my competition's doing that, then so be it. I understand you get busy, but the value is I've given you my card. That card could be worth $10 or $1 million.
Correct. I agree.
At least have the common courtesy to send an email for thanking them coming to the booth, and I will be following up with you in 2 weeks. That communication, I find, is very open, and people are open to at least listening to what I have to say. And I don't ask for 30 minutes. I ask for 14 minutes.
So how do you deal with the 150 cards that you collected? Do you go through them and go dummy, 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 good, good, dummy, like got him, need him?
I've already qualified them.
Right. On the weekend, you sat around with a glass of wine in your hand and got him, need him.
Nope.
Took these.
I've already qualified the client. Most definitely.
Like today, whatever cards you get, you kind of got 2 piles.
Most definitely. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I have a pot over there that you can put your cards in to win some hockey tickets or whatever it is. We're fine with that. That's fine with that. But I want people to come to the booth and say, hey, I heard you talking to Tim, and I'm interested in learning more about your products and services.
Why just stop to do this podcast?
Because I find there's value. You said everybody's afraid of change. So
everybody.
Okay, well then I want to be the pioneer that's not afraid of change. If you're telling me we're going to be speaking between 5,000 to 7,000 people, I will never in a million years have 5,000 to 7,000 people in 30 minutes. If I get 10% of that, I'll never be able to keep up with 500. Really, I'll be honest with you, I'm looking for 3%.
Sure.
3%.
Absolutely.
3% is more than adequate for me in this show.
Sure. There's two things that happen when people watch this show or even come down here. Because 28,000 people go through here.
Most definitely. And that's why we do this show. A substantial amount of eyes.
And the truth is that there's 2 things that go on at your booth and with you. One is that you not only are trying to find those 5-6 new leads that you can take away for another day, but you're branding your company.
Correct.
And you're right. So getting 7,000 people to watch a podcast and to learn about the Tri-Tech Pinnacle brand is almost impossible.
100%. I can't disagree with you.
Because PM Expo, Property Management Magazine, I mean, you're on here for free with me. And I got that.
Great value.
Totally huge value. By the way, it becomes a reciprocal value because Stadia, Burn and Demand, all my other, we end up networking. Everybody gets, right? You'll push the podcast through your network of people. I know why we invested in it because I'm using social media now to my best advantage. And I'm trying to profit by doing my job well, which is not podcasting, which is glass and doors and contracting. But I'm doing it through a live podcast, which will allow people to circulate between your market and mine.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's what I saw value in, is something new.
And I look at PM Expo, Property Management Agent, they're charging $3-4 grand for an ad. That you may only, that they say there's 5,000 to 10,000 people. The problem with that ad, it didn't three-dimensionalize you, Stephen. It's one-dimension advertising. We're podcasting a live interview. You and I have a chance to bond. When I hear you talk about relationships, or you're motivated to do that follow through, or you talk about firing a client, that's all real shit that people want to hear.
I'm a sharpshooter. I shoot from the hip. Again, the value of what I bring to the table is honesty. It has to be. If I don't, think about it this way, Tim. What I sell is in somebody's head. So I don't have a commodity. I don't physically have a cell phone. I don't have an Apple iPad. What I'm trying to tell them is my services come to you and save money.
Yep.
How did you do that? How are you going to save me money? Okay, well, I'm not looking for your entire portfolio today. Allow me to look at one building, and I come back and say, here are the issues we found.
Do you ever get blamed?
For what?
Anything like
that we missed something?
Yeah, like did they ever turn to you and go, you're the reason why he didn't perform?
Well, the value that we bring to the table is, how often do you want me to come? If they say we want you to come once a week, you ask me about firing a client. That's when I walk away, because I bring no value to the table. If I miss an inspection Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you want me to see something on Friday, you can't blame me for issues on Monday window, Tuesday window, Wednesday window. Friday window, I found an issue. Now we say, this issue's been found on Friday. Please open up the rest of the area. And if the contractor is apprehensive, saying, well, why do you want to do that? Then that kind of puts up our ears. And we want to know if there's some issues being missed, right? You asked me that when we first started this interview, are you there to make anybody angry? No, my goal is never to make anybody angry.
Do you have a job that sticks out in your mind that you loved?
Most definitely. I do a lot of work.
Something cool,
for sure. Yeah, we do some very interesting.
Name one job that's super cool.
One of my clients is the Hospital for Sick Children.
Okay.
And we were doing some work, and we thought to ourselves, how can we kind of appease it that the kids would get? And please look this up on the internet; you'll see it. So we asked the contractors. Again, we're working with them. Would you mind doing me a favor? And they said, "What's that? Could you please dress up as Spider-Man, the Hulk?" And they were on swing stage, and they were caulking windows. So imagine being a child that's sick kids, not feeling very well, and all of a sudden you've got Hulk, Spider-Man, and a minion coming down on a swing stage waving at you. It's just another way of us saying, thanks guys, we appreciate that.
You didn't have a tough time convincing the guys on the swing stage, did you?
No, because the value brought to the table was making sure that the windows were caulked properly. Sure. But it was just something that we saw somebody else do and offered it, and they said, yes, that'd be something we'd be more than willing to do.
When you're done this show on Friday, are you going to the TCA lunch or the BOMA lunch?
No, unfortunately, I'm also the packer-upper guy. So
me too. I'm the packer-upper guy too.
Yeah, that's right.
When you go home on Friday night, are you tired?
It can be cumbersome. I live north of Barrie.
Did you find trade shows tiring? No.
You gotta kind of spread yourself out a little bit. You're
a one-man band, so who's helping you over there?
I have another individual that's with me right now. He's in new construction. I told him I will be away at 11 o'clock doing something, and he said that's fine. I'll man the booth. So we always have somebody in the booth to make sure that we're servicing the client.
All right. What's your booth number again, just before we go?
1436.
And what's your phone number that people can find you at?
I'm very easy to be found at 905-503-1300, extension 225. Ask for Steve Emberley, and I specifically asked for Steve Emberley because there's 3 Steves in my office.
Is it really?
There is 3 Steves in my office.
Does it constant battle when people call in asking for Steve?
Basically, I've always told people, ask for the good-looking one. and they'll always get me.
I do the same thing at my office, but I'm the only Tim, so I don't have any competition around here. Listen, thanks a lot for coming.
Appreciate it.
I really appreciate you being here today. I'm Tim Byrne. This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. Kevin the Goat's down here. He seems to be getting a lot of attraction. The boys are working hard. I hope you have a really successful show.
Thank you.
Maybe at the end of it, we'll trade some names back and forth.
I 100% agree with that.
This is Tim Byrne Almost Live. We're at PM Expo in Toronto at the Metropolitan Toronto Convention Center. Alex, we're going to shut down this. We're going to let this gentleman go back and try to make some money and prove to the world that he is fantastic.
I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Tim Byrne on the treadmill, just finished up. I ran for the same length of time you guys listened. Stephen, thank you. Bill Trex, Chris Blunt, wrote me a check for $10,000. Can't believe it. Told me to keep on advertising his company. And I don't want to advertise yours. I want you to come on the show with me. Yes, I'm a little crazy, and I take risks. You know, at the end of my show, I always tell everybody, if you don't stick your head above the foxhole, you just never become a hero. Well, the truth is, in business, 80% of everything you do, that's a failure. It's wrong in somebody's eyes. Somebody's going to be your critic. Whether you make an inappropriate joke at a party, or do a silly podcast, or whether you say something in a boardroom you shouldn't have. But if you don't take those risks, you don't know. If you're not stretching yourself every day, making yourself bigger, stronger inside, don't you remember all those times your parents told you, don't care what anybody else thinks. Stick your hand up and ask questions. Yeah, we were all terrified. We did care. And we would never stick our hand up and ask questions. Well, today, I'm going to tell you. Stick your hand up. Don't be afraid. It's okay. Make a fool out of yourself. It's okay. You're allowed to. It's called being human. And don't worry, you're not that important. This podcast's not that important, Doug Macy. Everybody's going to forget about it next week. And there'll be a brand new copy and a brand new something else to look at. And nobody's going to give a crap about you any longer than the 9 seconds they giggled. And I'm really happy you can giggle. So remember, baby girl, honey, I love you. My wife, I'm sorry I embarrassed you. Cheryl Gray, you're a rock star. Always will be. You guys are all going to forget about this in about 7 seconds. So stick your head above that foxhole. Be a hero.